Reuters did a deep dive. They looked into the genealogies of Americans' political elite, and what did they find? They found that a fifth of the nation's lawmakers are descendants of enslavers. We're talking about at least 100 members of the last Congress. Republicans, Democrats is on both sides, but here's the thing. It's not just that they have these ancestors. It's that these ancestors built generational wealth and status that propelled these modern politicians into positions of power. You know, they tell us to pull ourselves up out of bootstraps, but these folks inherited the boot factory. These political figures, they are walking monuments to the unfinished business of this country. They are the living proof that Civil War didn't end the power dynamic. It just changed the scenery. They went from the plantation house to the Senate floor. We need to understand who we are dealing with. When they tell you no on reparations, when they tell you no on voting rights, they are speaking with the voices of their ancestors. We need to speak with the power of ours to demand what is owed. This is the clip that made me have so much more respect for Dr. Martin Luther King. And I hate the way the interviewer says black. Dude, you guys have too many serious issues that have never been dealt with, and you need to deal with it before it's too late, if it's not too late. Check this clip out.
What is it about the Negro? I mean, every other group that came as an immigrant somehow, not easily, but somehow got around it. Is it just the fact that Negroes are black?
White America must see that no other ethnic group has been a slave on American soil. That is one thing that other immigrant groups haven't had to face. The other thing is that the color became a stigma. American society made the Negro's color a stigma through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. So emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. And when white Americans tell the Negro to lift himself by his own bootstraps, they don't look over the legacy of slavery and segregation. I believe we ought to do all we can and seek to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps. But it's a cruel jest to say to a bootless man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And many Negroes, by the thousands and millions, have been left bootless as a result of all of these years of oppression.